Hello, lovely people. I hope you're all right. So, today I just wanted to speak a little bit about perspective and putting things into perspective. I think it's very important nowadays because, with everybody being so connected on the social media, on the emails, at work, at home, frustration tends to get to us very quickly. So at work, for example, we're maybe be overflowing with emails. We might get frustrated with all the deadlines and all the stress that's surrounding us. At home, probably as well the same thing. A lot of stress. We have less time to ourselves. Social media is taking up a lot of our time. And so I kind of wanted to discuss this a little bit because obviously, if you have all of these stressors, at some point it's going to overflow in your mind, and you start to think that things are worse than they actually are. So it's very important to keep things in perspective and to relativize things. So, really, to say, okay, this is one part of my life, but there's also this other part of my life where it's going super great. Like, for example, you're pregnant or you're getting a family or, you have a marriage or there's a birth coming up. So, even though you may be really stressed at work, and it feels like as if everything is breaking down at work, you need to look at the bigger picture and think, oh, actually, it's not that bad. So if you feel really stressed at work or even at home, just go and find yourself a room. Like, even the toilets at work. I mean, if there's no meeting room that's available where you can just go and hang out for 5 minutes, just go and close the door and just breathe in and out and think about consciously think about your life. Just think, okay, now I have really distress because I have this deadline coming up, but at home my family is waiting for me, my cats, my dogs are waiting for me, to try and put things back into perspective, to say that, okay, maybe on one side it's very stressful, but then again I have all these other things to be happy and grateful for. So this actually brings me to a little story that I wanted to share with you. It was basically a story that I read a while ago on different gods from India, and it's supposed to be some sort of fairy tales that you would tell your kids. And obviously there's so many different stories about the gods of India, and there are so many Indian gods, but this one really got to me somehow. So basically, Ganesh, the guy with the head of the elephant. Basically, he had a brother who was obviously also a god of the warriors, I think. His name is, wait, Kartikeya, I think, if I say correctly. So basically, he had a brother, okay? And there were two beautiful girls that Ganesh really wanted to marry. But his brother was also interested in them. So Ganesh said, okay, well, let's do it like that. The one who first travels around the world can marry those two beautiful girls. Now, you have to keep in mind that Ganesh's brother is actually riding on like a peafowl. So obviously it's a bird and it's very quick, it can be very quick. So he is riding on this peafowl, whereas Ganesh is riding on a little rat. And knowing that Ganesh has a lot of weight and this rat has to carry that much weight, he's going to be slower than his brother. So his brother was like, okay, sure, I'm going to accept the challenge, no problem, because he knew already I'm going to be traveling around the world much faster than you can, Ganesh. So these two girls will be for me. So he started on his journey and he started, to travel, to go across the world. Ganesh took his time and he looked back at his parents, which were back then Shiva and Parvati. And all he did was that he was traveling, going around his parents, and he said, okay, that's it. I won the bet, give me the girls. So basically, like, the thing of the story, the main point of the story is that for Ganesh, his main world evolved around his parents. And I think this is a very, very beautiful point. And I think this is also a point to remember in life as you go through your stages of life. You really need to focus on what is most important to you and what matters most to you. Of course, you can have the stresses from left and right, but as long as you have your knowledge to know that everything's going to be okay because I have my support system, or I have the things that make me happy and that I'm passionate about, I think that's the most important thing when it comes to putting things back into perspective. You know what I mean? So I think it's a very beautiful tale, and it kind of fits on this topic about perspective as well. So that's basically just what I wanted to share with you. Keep in mind that, okay, yes, you have stressful times, people have stressful times. It is a stressful time at the moment, but also you have to be grateful for the beautiful things around. The fact that the trees are growing, that they're bearing fruits, the fact that we have still soil that is going very well, that's growing crops for us, that we have food, that we have water, that we are healthy plus minus, as a human species, even though there's more and more diseases coming up. But that's a different point. But it's just so important to go back and see the bigger picture. Yes, I hope I brought my point across today. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great day. Bye.